Especially when you're standing outside before the event, waiting to get in the doors, and you get a good overview of all the people holding their signs, and 9 times out of 10, it's like 80% trailer trash looking scumbag people.
Or you've got 50-year-old men bringing John Cena rules signs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wearing the wristbands and the green and yellow John Deere hats, and Jesus Christ.
John Deere hats, he says. Classic wrestling fan with the John Deere logo. All right, so we move. Oh, Jesus. Look what's next. We had...
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Hornswoggle and Chavo Guerrero. You know, dude, we talked about it last week. We said it's over.
We spoke too soon.
They got Evan Bourne. He's in the mix now. Da-da-da-da-da-da. They wound up doing that on WWE Superstars last week, I believe. Chavo versus Evan Bourne. And, we got a bull rope match on Monday Night Raw.
Well, more interesting than that, we got a Texas bull rope match in Detroit. Try and explain that one.
Yeah, right? Well, yeah.
Shouldn't it have been a Detroit bull rope match? No?
Right. I mean, that's WWE's booking, you know what I'm saying? But, God, how many times? This has got to be the, 8th, 9th, 10th?
It's coming close to double digits as far as Raw. I mean, they do it on pay-per-views, too, and other shows, but as far as Raw, yeah, we're getting up to almost where it's like 3-4 months in a row now. They've had Chavo and Hornswoggle on some goofy-ass match every week. And I guess with the host team, it's, because they have like, the Diva Battle Royal was the American Dream 6 Diva Battle Royal. The week before it was the Mayweather Melee. And so I guess every week there's going to be a Diva match with some kind of name based on like the Price is Right Diva match next week, or Come On Down match between Hornswoggle and Chavo. I guess it's got to be like a running gag that they.
Dude, it's got to be a rib. It's got to be some sort of backstage rib or something, man. I just.
Well, if you look back to the Vicky Guerrero stuff, I mean, they tortured her because she was leaving on the way out. They tortured her on the way out. Wasn't it Ray and Chavo that like was speaking up on her behalf or something towards the end there? Maybe this is like punishment for Chavo. Who knows?
Yeah, it's possible. It's got. I mean, there's got to be a reason behind it that we see this week after week after week. You know.
Yeah, I think it's just I think Vince really thinks it's funny because I mean we can talk about the match, but it's what happened after the match is I can guarantee you Vince was laughing his ass off when they're at the creative meeting coming up with this idea, which we'll talk about here in a second. But what happened?
Maybe it looks good on paper, you know what I mean? But how can it look good on paper? I mean, I understand if you're think about it. If we're in a WWE creative meeting, right, and we're thinking, all right, we dress a little person, if you will, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. We dress them up as a cowboy or wherever he was, and then we put Chavo. I mean, sure, that sounds funny. You got Hornswoggle dressed up like a cowboy, whatever. It's all right, dude. It would have worked. But then you put Chavo Guerrero in a cow suit? In a cow suit? Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. How can you laugh at? How can an old man? I mean, if your claims are true. Right? I mean, you don't know this, obviously, but you're just thinking Vince McMahon is backstage laughing his ass off at this stuff. An old man is laughing at another guy on television in a cow suit?
Yeah, well, I mean, you had to come up with something to match the cowboy for horny, so I guess the cow was only, I mean, couldn't he have been an Indian, you know? I don't, but I know Vince thinks it's funny because he produces the announcers, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, and you can't tell me when they played that moo sound effect as he hit the tadpole splash, and Michael Cole after he hit the splash, he says, "What a move!" Come on, that's Vince McMahon telling him to say that. And he thinks it's funny.
Without a dear. And you know what? If he doesn't do it, you're out of a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's just,
see Taz.
Yeah, it's all about ribs and backstage stuff that goes on. I mean, there was so
bad
many
comedy
jokes. Like, what was it? Somebody just got taken out to the pasture. Chavo just got taken out to the pasture. Just stupid corn jokes like that.
See, it's funny when you make fun of it. Like right now, it's funny listening. Like it's funny us describing what happened. It's funny because it's pathetic and it's funny to make fun of, but it's not funny to watch. It's not like if you put it on a comedy. If you put it on Comedy Central, people are going to be like, what the hell is this? This isn't comedy.
Right. And then Michael Cole, you know, and especially Jerry Lawler last night with the fake laugh.
Yeah.
doesn't fly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, dude. It's not funny. But you know what? If he doesn't laugh, I mean, he's being told to do that fake laugh through the headsets. You know what I'm saying? It's not his fault. You know what I mean? But he's got to go out there and act like a complete idiot and do a fake laugh for somebody in a cow suit. You know what I'm saying? It's not his choice. It's not by choice that he's doing that. But it just comes across so corny.
It's got to be. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard to make them. I mean, if you're in the middle of talking, like blah 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 blah, and then somebody yells in the ear, laugh, laugh, ha 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 ha. You know how genuine can it sound?
Dude, somebody could send me a message. You know what I mean? Just an instant message or something like that while I'm producing the show, and I get all flustered. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if somebody was in my right ear, screaming, telling me to laugh, telling me to say, I mean, that's not for me. You know what I mean?
Now that you say that, they do talk right in his headphones, right?
Oh, right in the ear, comes right out of the earpiece.
Knowing technology is what it is. You just mentioned it. Why don't they just have a computer sitting there and have him like send him text messages or instant messages instead of yelling in his ear while he's trying to talk on live TV and you're yelling in his face.
That's probably Vince too. You know what I mean? I mean, anything that Vince wants you to hear, he's going to relay it to those announcers. You know,
probably a lot of it on tone too. Like make sure to, oh boy, that was, if you've got to get the exact tone down too. You can't convey that on with text.
Right. It just comes across. I mean, a lot of it just comes across as so corny, especially last night with
so horny?
Last night and then a little horny, no doubt. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We'll move on from that. Jesus. And then they followed.
Well, what do you think? What do you think the future is with that? Is it going to be another Hornswoggle Chavo match next week, or are they going to eventually split it to Evan Bourne, or is Evan Bourne just something they're throwing in because they think the comedy act's getting stale and this is something new so they can keep it going, as opposed to transitioning?
I came on here last week and I said, I think it's over, Boone.
Yeah.
I think it's over, my man. Now you're asking me this week, when's it going to end? I don't know, dude.
Well, the question I'm asking is, do you think they added Evan Bourne to slowly start making it Chavo Evan and getting the Hornswoggle out of there? Or
no, because they did that match on Superstars.
Yeah, but then they went back and did it again on Raw. So is it that, or is it they're just adding Evan Bourne as a third comic element to this ongoing saga that's going to continue? It's not going to end and then become Evan Bourne and Chavo. It's just going to be all three of them now instead of just two.
But we didn't have Evan Bourne on Raw last night.
Yeah. He came out to he was part of the finish. Chavo was on the top rope without his hat on. And Hornswoggle, Evan Bourne came down and distracted him. And while he was distracted, Hornswoggle went out of the ring and then pulled the rope on his nuts and made him flip on, onto the mat or whatever.
I do not.
And then he put the cow head on Hornswoggle when he was on the top rope after the match. Remember?
Right. Yeah, I didn't have that in my show file. Maybe I completely forgot about that. Man, I don't know. I mean, next, I'm sure Bob Barker next week will come through for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we'll get another Hornswoggle versus Chavo match. So every time I say it's over, or I think it's over, it keeps going on and on and on. You know what I mean? So if I don't say anything and we don't talk about it, maybe it'll just end.
Maybe leave it alone. It'll quietly go away. I just figured out how next week's Raw is opening. Are you ready? Bob Barker's going to be down. Or he's either going to be in the... That's how Lillian's going to... Somebody's going to introduce him as come on down or something. But either way, at one point or another, Bob Barker will be in the ring by himself, and it'll be DX because it's got to be somebody who can do comedy, or Santino. And what they're going to do is, the music will hit, they'll come out with that goofy name tag with a name and marker drawn on real big, and they'll come out looking all excited and shocked that they got picked, and they'll run down and clap in the hands, look like they do in the show. And
that would be awesome for Santino to come down, man.
I'm picturing it now.
With him coming down, can you imagine him running down the ramp, hands flapping? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Yeah, that'd be all right, man, to open it. I'm sure they're going to open it up. I mean, in the past few weeks, we've seen just about everybody, right? Ted DiBiase opened up the show. Shaq opened up the show. Floyd Mayweather.
He was late, though.
Yeah, he was late. Just about everybody that's guest hosted Raw. I'm just hoping when they come here, I think it's September 28th for Monday Night Raw. I think they're still going to have this guest host thing going on. So we'll see who we get. You know what I mean? I mean, if they bring like Sheryl Crow or somebody to Albany, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who knows? We may not even do a live WZR Radio if they announce, because I haven't got tickets yet. I get them the day of the show and then go up there.
I was going to say, you will. You're not going to not go.
Well, yeah, I got to go.
I wouldn't. If I was there, I would say I don't feel like it. Screw wrestling. I don't want to go to Raw tonight. Just didn't watch them.
Well, we're gonna do a live radio show. We should actually kind of start plugging that. It's gonna be, what are we, September 1st today? So what are we, 4 weeks away from Monday Night Raw here in Albany, New York, and we're gonna do a live WZR Radio broadcast. We'll have coverage throughout the day here on the website, and then we'll do something from live inside the arena, maybe before Raw goes on the air for you guys. Get to the attendance and live notes and things like that. That's going to be September 28th, so it's going to be a special Monday edition of WZR Radio, and then, of course, we'll be here the 29th, our normal Tuesday time slot to talk about all the happenings from that night's show and all the latest news and rumors. So.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you come on here on Tuesday and you're hoarse, I'm going to mock you like a son of a bitch for being a mark, bro. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Listen, man.
Don't do it.
Listen, I can barely watch it on TV on Monday nights. You know what I'm saying? There will be, you know me. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go to WWE, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened. I mean, the beer truck segment happened here in Albany. The number one rated Raw moment, in history. I mean,
it was you're on Vince's DVD from that, and you're right in the front row.
No, right up there. I was back in the day where I used to love that stuff. We used to camp outside down there. We used to wait in the lines. We'd get there on we get there on Thursday night, sleep out Thursday night, sleep out Friday night, and then Saturday morning. Yeah, Saturday morning tickets would go. Oh, get front row seats. I mean, we would just go there for front row. Have them all. They
didn't have the internet back then.
Well, I'm sure they did, but you're not going to get front row. You're not going to get front row seats over Ticketmaster.com.
Pre-sale. No, you can't get it with the pre-sale.
Well, that's only if they have them. You know,
I don't think they had them back then.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was back in the day. Whatever. We don't do that anymore. A little bit older. Not going to pass out for wrestling tickets. You know what I'm saying?
No.
All right. We got 4 minutes until we head to the commercial break. Let's wrap this up real quick. Couple more matches. Mark Henry versus The Big Show. Shoot, man, me and you were talking during it. It was nothing but headlocks and lockups. You know what I'm saying?
It was the big man spots. It was tests of strength. It was headlocks. It was lockups and who got the more power. And I mean, I heard 2 or 3 people in the chat saying Henry versus Big Show was surprisingly good. And I want some of what they're smoking because that was atrocious. I mean, that was insanely bad. I mean, that was Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd. I mean, it was bad.
But you know, it was better than Hornswoggle versus Chavo. And that was the match right before it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you look at this lineup, we go from the American Dream 6 Diva Battle Royal, which was probably the worst thing on the show as far as wrestling. Then you got Jericho and MVP. That's all right. Then you got a bad backstage segment. You thought it was good, so that's a mixed review.
Yeah, well, all right. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? It was typical DX. And plus, you got me with the it's overdone. It's rehashed. You know what I'm saying? So then we went from that.
Rope and then that. Yeah, that's bad.
Horrible. I mean, I don't know. Mark Henry versus Big Show, whatever. It ended in a DQ. Big Show took off the turnbuckle and slammed Henry into it, and then delivered his big knockout punch, and that was the DQ. So Big Show, Mark Henry wins via DQ there. Then we had another backstage segment. This is where the Shockmaster stuff came up, right? Or was that? No, that was.
No, that's the last one.
Wow, we got a lot to go. I didn't notice. Wow. All right. Well, we'll run it down. We'll go to the break. We can finish it up when we come back. Well, we had another backstage segment here. This was what was this?
We had Randy Orton and Cody. It was Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, and Ted DiBiase asked Cody, "Are you really going to go through with this?" And he said, "Yeah. When your dad was the host, you got the spotlight, and I'm going to take this opportunity." Randy Orton walked in and Cody said it in the opening segment, "Whatever happens, it's business, not personal." And then during this backstage segment, Orton said to Cody, "Remember what you said earlier. I'm reiterating, it's business tonight, not personal, no matter what happens." And that'll